Let's keep it real. Nobody saw this one coming. Everyone loves a good friend, and as you can see in this video, that doesn't just apply to humans. It's pretty common to see pairs of animals roaming and playing together. You have your domesticated dogs and cats here and there, along with your birds, and we can't forget about the little guys like gerbils and hamsters. But could you remember the last time you saw a miniature dog and a lion? Or what about a dog and an elephant? No? We didn't either. Here are some of the most unusual animal friendships that the world has seen thus far. Teeny and Sniffer. In the town of Ski, which lies in Norway, is home to a red fox, Sniffer, and a German shepherd, Teeny. One day, Teeny was out on a walk with her owner when she encountered a baby fox in the forest. The little fox tackled the puppy playfully, and at first, the shepherd wasn't too sure about what to do, but eventually ended up going along with it. The owner named the fox Sniffer, and from that day, they grew to be the closest of friends. The owner came out to the forest regularly so the two playmates could spend quality time together every day. They loved to wrestle, chase after squirrels, and explore the forest. Many found the story of the two so touching that the duo even have their own book written for them. And here we thought the famous Disney movie The Fox and the Hound was meant to be a movie, and just that. Dog visits lion. A dog next to a lion? Sounds like bad news. Lions are some of the fiercest carnivores who hunt on a day-to-day basis, meaning a dog would be a light snack for the beast. But one day our friend Abby, the dachshund, did the unimaginable by visiting Bone Digger the lion. Bone Digger already makes this lion sound more intimidating, but Abby didn't fear the fearsome feline at all. The two stay in the GW Exotic Animal Park. Once Abby met Bone Digger, the two became some of the best friends. They're playful and run away from each other and lick each other. Abby isn't the only puppy in the group. There's also a few others that join the fray, and they receive the same treatment from Bone Digger despite looking like little snacks to him. While Bone Digger is very kind to the puppies, we can't say he's the same way with everyone else. Therefore, Abby and her friends are really the only ones allowed in the den. The park even said the lion whines once the puppies aren't with him anymore. Whoever said dogs were only man's best friend? Cat and bear. If you didn't think the last friendship was life-threatening enough, we've got another one for you. The majority of people will say that leaving a small creature inside of a cage with a large creature is straight up asking for trouble. Which is why when visitors of the Berlin Zoo saw this in person, their jaws dropped. But hey, one day, a stray cat showed up to the exhibit and decided the bear inside was going to become its new mother. The stray cat was named Mushi. And once she arrived in the year 2000, she slowly became closer and closer with the 40-year-old bear on the premises. This friendship didn't happen as easy as the others. It did take some time, but eventually, the bear let her guard down and they became the greatest of friends. It was even said that the two couldn't bear to be separated from one another. We're thrilled and relieved that the animals are making these friendships work out. Anjana and the Tiger Cubs. Anjana the chimpanzee ended up making great friends with a couple of tiger cubs. I'm sure you're wondering how they even met. Well, Anjana was always a member of the Institute for Greatly Endangered and Rare Species in South Carolina. This same institute decided to adopt baby white tigers, Mitra and Shiva. It was said the two small cubs were separated from their actual mother during a hurricane, unfortunately, and Anjana the chimp chose to fill in for their mother once they met each other. Down the line, they created a strong bond with one another. They were pretty hard to separate, despite that the little cubs played rough sometimes. But Anjana the chimp isn't new to this game. Anjana has looked after felines before, including lions and leopards. So her new friends are just more training for her. Anjana even knows how to bottle feed the cubs milk. No wonder the cubs love her so much. Bella and Bubbles. Okay, we've seen dogs and felines, but now dogs are hanging out with elephants too? Man's best friend? More like everyone's best friend. Well, as the friendship continues here, we have another set of best friends. Bella the Labrador and Bubbles the 32-year-old African elephant. As we've been sharing how most of the friendly animals met, the story of these two meeting is rather unfortunate. Bubbles the elephant was orphaned due to poachers in the area and was brought to an animal sanctuary, while Bella the Labrador came with her owner who was working on a project at the sanctuary. Bella's owner ended up leaving her there without returning. The two animals, both losing their loved ones, formed a new bond together, which could arguably be stronger than the relationships of their past. The two loved to play in the pond, despite Bubbles being so much larger than Bella. And when we say larger, we mean 9,000 pounds larger. But Bella is very gentle when the two play together, and has been ever since they came to know each other. The Institute for Greatly Endangered and Rare Species wasn't just home to Bella and Bubbles, but is also home to the next friendly couple, Soraya the orangutan and Roscoe the tick hound. Soraya was always a resident of the Institute, but Roscoe ended up following the staff back to the Institute one day. Doc Antle, the operator of the Institute, noticed that he was malnourished and decided to take him in. The second Soraya noticed Roscoe, he immediately rushed over to greet him. Soraya was usually sad due to losing family in the past, but they'd never seen him so excited. Although they were a bit confused because dogs typically find orangutans frightening. But despite that point, Roscoe was also very excited to see Soraya. The two became the best of friends and did everything with one another. And if you remember Bubbles the elephant from earlier, they also ended up becoming friends with her, just when you thought it couldn't get any more surprising. Bear, lion, and tiger. Wait a minute. A bear, lion, and tiger? Friends? Sounds like something you need to see to believe. Because last we checked, these guys are usually found fighting each other in the wild. But this is the world's most unusual animal friendships, right? Well, where do you find a tiger, a lion, and a bear together in one spot? Well, their place of residence is just as unusual as their friendship. The three animals were actually found when a criminal's house was raided. During the police's search, they found all the bear, the lion, and the tiger when they were just cubs. Unfortunately, the trio were in poor condition when they were found, so the police brought them to an animal sanctuary. They thought it was for the best due to their poor living conditions. The sanctuary enjoyed watching them cuddle and play together, but expected them to grow apart as they aged. Well, 15 years later, and their friendship was as strong as ever. They were nicknamed BLT, just like the sandwich, but bear, lion, and tiger trio. Unfortunately, during the great life the trio had together, the lion and the tiger passed away, leaving just the bear. But the sanctuary always does their best to make sure the bear is never feeling alone. Fred and the Ducklings. Fred the Labrador is a 10-year-old dog that took more than 10 little ducklings as his own. Fred noticed the bunch of ducks walking around with their mother nowhere to be found. They did seem a little bit lost, so Fred's owner decided they should be brought back to the house as they were too young to survive alone. Fred the Lab stepped up to the plate and was the best father these little ducklings could have asked for. Fred's owner said that Fred has great nature and the ducks love him. During Fred's free-of-charge babysitting service, the ducks sleep in his dog bed. I guess the ducks found another wing to lie under, or paw in this case. Kazi the cheetah and Labrador. Another rare friendship to see is one between Kazi the cheetah and his awesome Labrador friend Mitani. The two met when they were just weeks old, but the two were only allowed to spend supervised time together during the early times of their friendship. When they first met, they bonded perfectly. Later down the line at the exhibit at Busch Gardens, Tampa, the two were trusted to live together full-time. because they loved each other so much. While the park knew cub-puppy friendships were uncommon, they knew they existed and didn't want to keep the young animals separated for too long. They spend their time playing, exercising, and wrestling. And as the park continues to observe the two, they know that this friendship won't be ending anytime soon.